I opened my remarks this morning saying I want to introduce you to another way to be a part of something much larger than yourselves. Let me explain. In 3 days, I'll be leaving for a journey I take every year, though this time, since I have no job, I'm unemployed, I don't have an assistant, don't have an office, don't have a house. Instead of going for 2 weeks, I'm going to go for 4 weeks to the heart of Africa. My journey, as always, is purposely, very loosely planned, but I do know that I'll be returning to southern Sudan to a small clinic where I go regularly to operate. The bush in Sudan is a long way from the floor of the majestic Capitol building where I've worked every day for the past 12 years, a long way from the operating room in Vanderbilt where I worked every day for 10 years. You see, Sudan has been in a civil war in the past quarter of a century. You hear of the genocide in Darfur in the western part of Sudan. Well, that is just the latest of a much larger civil war that has taken the lives of well over 2 million people and left 5 million people displaced from their homes. About a year after Osama bin Laden left Sudan, I found myself there in Sudan with another thoracic surgeon, Dr. Dick Furman, working with World Medical Mission. The region was barren. The area had been decimated by civil war, churches destroyed, landmines around the deserted primitive hospital, the village vacant for years. We began operating in a vacant one-room schoolhouse. We did simple operations. Somebody asked a few minutes ago, what do you do down there? Simple operations, hernia repairs, excision of burns, bowel obstruction. No running water, no electricity, a lot of ketamine being used. But word spread that the Americans had come, and the Americans, through compassion, were saving lives. We went back the next year, and we moved from the schoolhouse to an abandoned health clinic. The landmines had been placed around it, landmines removed. We went back to that clinic. All of a sudden, the Sudanese people returned to that vacant area to be close to the hospital, to the clinic. A few tribal people began selling some maize on a few tables outside the primitive hospital. As they were waiting for their loved ones, the bombed-out church right next door was rebuilt. The next year, a full-time surgeon treated several thousand patients, and the clinic grew, and those several maize tables blossomed into a fully fledged, robust marketplace. The church continued to be periodically bombed by the government of Sudan, but it grew and grew. A full-time school reopened. All this built around the trust that emanated from healing through surgery, through medicine. The trust that had been reestablished by the hospital and the compassion of the volunteer American doctors who cared for the community and had begun to go there regularly.